Thank you for all showing up for today. Today is a very special day because not only are we celebrating our first year anniversary, but we are also celebrating Pastor Kong and Pastor Pa in appreciation for their ministry. I'm just going to paint a picture of how I first met Pastor Kong and Pastor Pa. The time was 2020, and we were in the middle of a pandemic. Everything was shut down. We were stuck at home. No work, no school, no church, no community. This was also the year when I met Pastor Kong and Pa for the first time. At first, I was hesitant because I have never met them before. All of a sudden, I was thrown into this ministry that I did not sign up for. It came out of nowhere and it did not even exist at that time. But by the grace of God, here we are in this new ministry with Pastor Kong and Pastor Pa, and they were heading it up. When I look back at this time, I view it as a God moment because this team that I'm working with, Tumo and I have always worked alongside of them for the last 12 years. We have trained along Luke and Yua, and we have taken classes with Chris and Morley. We served in many ministries together over the years, but the moment Pastor Kong and Pastor Pa came into the picture, it was like they were the glue that held us together. This is how Rock and Refuge came to be 1 year later. Not only do we celebrate the 1 year anniversary of Rock and Refuge, but we also celebrate Pastor Kong and Pastor Pa. Because of their dedication to the ministry and their love for the church, we take this day to celebrate for their commitment and their obedience to God. Rock and Refuge would not be what it is if it weren't for God and his divine moment when he thrusted us with the friendship of Pa and Kong. I am certain that we all here in this room have been blessed with Pastor Kong and Pastor Pa's friendship. No matter how long or short or how old or young you are, no matter what language you speak, their love and friendship knows no boundaries. When I was chosen to give today's teaching, I didn't know what I was supposed to speak on. I've never been comfortable giving a speech, nor have I been confident to give the word so formally like this. So as I was prepping and thinking of a theme for a blessed day such as this, our 1 year anniversary of Rock and Refuge Church, and Pastor's Appreciation, the theme of friendship came to me over and over again. Not only just friendship, but genuine biblical friendship, because I do believe our team has found that in one another when Pastor Kong and Pastor Pa came into the picture. And because of that, our ministry team has also longed for love and friendship with those who we share in community with, which came to be Rock and Refuge vision and purpose. So what makes a true friend? This day and age, who do we consider as friends? How does friendship look like? And how do we discern a good friend from a bad friend? Some can say, yeah, I have a lot of friends. It's the hundreds and thousands of friends I have on Facebook. How many of us can look at our friends list and say that we have hundreds of friends on there? No, just me? Okay. Now, can we look at our friends list and actually consider these people our friends? Honestly, probably just a handful of them. Or if you don't have social media, maybe we just have coworkers or a cousin or a sister or two that we confide in and we share all of our thoughts and our feelings with. Friendship comes in all forms, and they may come and go in different points of our lives. They can be big or small friendships, but I think we can all agree that God made friends to connect with one another on a deeper level. The Bible said, friendship is valuable for companion and support. It emphasizes that friendship should not be built or should be built on shared faith, wisdom, and godly character. So let's look to the word and see what are qualities of good friendship. Friendship is loyal and support. In Proverbs 17:17, it says, a friend loves at all time, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. A really good example of this is David and his friendship with Jonathan. So if you guys know the story of David, at this point he just defeated Goliath. And David was invited to meet and talk with King Saul. And it must have been something that David said while talking to King Saul, because this is when David and Jonathan became BFFs. Now, Jonathan is King Saul's son. And it says that in 1 Samuel 18, verse 1, after David had finished talking with Saul, Jonathan became one in spirit with David, and he loved him as himself. And then in verse 3, Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself, meaning that Jonathan made a pledge of mutual loyalty and friendship and accepted David as his equal. I could totally see this as a stepbrother moment, if you guys seen the movie, when Brennan and Dale realizes how much they have in common, and they go, did we just become best friends? Because I think this was the moment that they became best friends. During their friendship, Jonathan remained loyal and protected David multiple times from King Saul. David was actually moving up ranks in the army, and he was successful in his missions. He was winning battles and slaying enemies left and right, and made Saul a very jealous king. He didn't want David to have all the credit or people singing praises to David. And because Saul was very jealous, he wanted David dead. He purposely sent David out to battles, hoping that David would be killed. It was to the point where Saul even told Jonathan and all the attendants to kill David. But because of Jonathan's loyalty, Jonathan warned David, and David fled. Now this is a Proverbs 17:17 friendship. Friendship is honest and for correction. In Proverbs 27:6, it says, wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. A friend is honest, even when it's difficult, as a way to help you improve. Wounds from a friend are actually considered faithful and a kindness. This correction helps develop and mold character. Sometimes it's hard to hear correction, especially when it comes from a friend or a family, but it takes a lot of love for your friend and family to want to help you become a better person. In the same take, God warns us to be aware of bad friends and kisses from enemies, because sometimes when you think they are for you, they can sweeten their lies and deceitfulness like kisses and lead you astray instead. Proverbs 12:26 says, a righteous man is cautious in friendship, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. Which brings us to the next point. Friendship is built on wisdom and godliness. In Proverbs 19:20, it states, listen to advice and accept discipline, and at the end you will be counted among the wise. Meaning, good friends will counsel you with godly wisdom and encourage you during a time of need. A good example of this is the mentor-disciple relationship between Paul and Timothy. The Apostle Paul took young Timothy important responsibilities. Paul's letter to Timothy encourages him to be steadfast in ministry and to guard against false teaching. In the same way, have awareness of your influence, whether you are being the influencer or if you are being influenced. How are we impacting those who are surrounded by us, or are we allowing those around us to impact us? Friendship is a reflection of God's love. Through friendship, God teaches us about sacrificial love. Jesus said, "Greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends." Jesus is the ultimate friend because he gave his life for us. We may not be able to jump in front of a dangerous situation for our friends every day, but Jesus teaches us that sometimes we have to sacrifice, whether it's in time, energy, or our own comfort to those we love. Friendship teaches us about forgiveness. Paul writes to the Colossians to bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you have any grievances against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. It means to forgive and forgive again. Friendship teaches us about love and service to one another. Above all, love each other deeply because love covers a multitude of sins. Offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. Each one should use whatever gifts he has received to serve others faithfully, administering God's grace in its various forms. It is selfless. It means to be helpful in times of need. To love deeply isn't just a feeling or to have a good time with one another. It is forgiveness, it is accountability, it is correction, and it is loyalty. Now what? I hope that as we continue to grow in community together, we break down barriers and become friends the way that God intended us to be. Gathering together, loving one another, serving together, building each other up, and navigating life's up and downs with each other. We have gone through 1 year together at Rock&RefugeChurch. We have created a wonderful and safe place where we can talk freely with one another, whether it's on a Sunday or a Wednesday night. I pray that these conversations that we have opens up channels of friendship, love, and encouragement to each and every one of you. That you will feel that you belong here at Rock and Refuge, that we are among friends,